Hey everybody, it's Lifty, and today let's brew our Rwanda Kanzu number 12 as a filter offering. This is our second offering, at least in my memory, from Rwanda Kanzu, just a different lot. So last year we had Rwanda Kanzu number 5. Now we got number 12. Did I get that order correct? Yes, I did. Okay. So I started with the same recipe we used last year. What you will notice if you had that coffee is that this one is not quite as bright or acidic as the Rwanda Kanzu number 5 last year. And I am also going to steep this recipe a little bit longer. We're gonna make this coffee in a clever dripper or Bonavita or French press. Honestly, you can do the same exact recipe on the French press. I'm talking grind size and everything. And I chose this immersion method because it's gonna highlight the deep sweetness of this coffee, and it's really easy to make. Not only that, but this coffee acts very normally in other brew methods. So I would go with your standard grind size and recipes for any other drip method that you choose to use for it. We're gonna be doing 25 grams of coffee and 400 grams of water. And our coffee today is ground medium. This was 15 on my Baratza Encore, which is going to be about 25 clicks or 24 clicks on our Commandante C40. And we're looking at about 3 on the fellow Ode grinder. So welcome back, Ode grinder settings. Now, I only have the non-bleached number 4 paper filters to toss into my dripper, and they taste so strongly of paper that I have been letting this soak for a while now. So probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and I already did rinse it already. I've got kind of mixed feelings about this. One, the paper flavor is really strong with these unbleached filters. If that's not a problem for you, then don't worry about it, you're fine. I find it a little bit strong in the unbleached filters. Although I do also find it a little bit nostalgic, because the first pour over method I ever did at home was a clever dripper, and it was with unbleached paper filters. So this like strong paper taste kind of takes me back, but I also don't enjoy it all that much. So got mixed feelings about it. But I dumped all sorts of water in here. I'm gonna dump it out, and hopefully, smells like nothing. Okay, now ready to brew. So you may have seen this water first clever dripper recipe a few times. I know I've done it in these brew guides a couple times, and we have done it in our clever dripper guide online. We're gonna do that again today. So I don't even need a gooseneck kettle right here. All I'm gonna do is tear my scale, timer to 0. I'm gonna pour all 400 grams of my water. There we go. Pour all my water. Now, I'm gonna dump my coffee and start my timer. And wet all the coffee. Hopefully, I can push all these grounds under within 10 seconds. I didn't quite make it, but push it all under, and then at 30 seconds, I'm gonna break this crust that has formed. So we're still gonna get a crust even if your coffee is a little bit older, which if you're watching this video and you have the coffee, it's not gonna be, because this is the first production roast of it. So here at 30 seconds, boom, I'm gonna break this crust. Push it a couple times, give myself a little swirl. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this paddle all the way down, back, forth, just to give myself a little bit of circulation, all this water, all these grounds. Let's toss this lid back on here. And we're gonna let this do its thing for another 2 minutes. But first, at a minute and a half, I am gonna stir this again. If it forms a crust, push any grounds that have formed up back underneath the water. And I'm just gonna let it do its thing for a long time. Not that long a time, but probably a long time. If you're just watching this video, listening to me talk for 3 to 4 minutes. We are approaching the minute 30 mark. Like I said, I would do this exact same thing if I was making a French press. Got no grounds stuck at the top. I'm just gonna break that foam. That foam is CO2. So I want to dissipate as much of that as I can. And I am going to very gently, because I'm nitpicky, push these grounds that are stuck along the edge back underneath the filter. I'm trying not to agitate the rest of the coffee too much at this point. I'm gonna give it another little swirl, break that foam. I did not go very deep in that, like a 1/4 inch. Place this back on here. I'm gonna let it steep for another minute. At 3 minutes, I am going to add my clever dripper on top of the decanter and let it drain out. This is a pretty traditional coffee. I say that because even though it has these fruity notes like plum and dried apricot, it is very sweet. That's its dominant note. We're gonna get this really sweet, slightly earthy honeycomb. We're going to get raw sugar, and we're gonna get this plum, and we're gonna get a little bit of dried apricot. So this deep, sweet stone fruit. I like this coffee a lot. I've been sipping on this coffee for about half of the day today. Speaking of which, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody, if you're watching this with the menu launch day, coffee launch day. It's St. Patrick's for us. I guess it's not gonna come out exactly on St. Patrick's. Take the lid off, drop, let it do its thing. So you will notice that that first initial drop of water was pretty clear. That's simply because we have some water outside of that filter already that is not spending as much time with coffee. But we're still gonna get adequate strength out of this brew. If you would like your coffee to be a little bit brighter, I would drop it at the 230 mark. Same with French press. If you want to engage more of that sweetness, then I would go even further than 3 minutes before you drop. Because we are dealing with an immersion, you're gonna reach a point of diminishing returns. However, I would not go too far past 4 minutes because we are still incorporating a drip through our grounds, which is going to strip out some of our astringent and bitter notes if we let it steep too long. But otherwise, like I said, I expect these nice notes of honeycomb, plum, dried apricot, and raw sugar. I guess I didn't say it this time, but the reason we do water first is because it helps prevent this filter from choking and that last little bit taking like 5 minutes to drain. So we get a much faster drain like this, which lets us make that cup all the much faster so we can serve and enjoy.